Hi friends, I'm Karen. Welcome to Yarnandwhimsydesigns. This is my new YouTube channel all about yarn and crochet and this rabbit hole I have taken a flying leap into over the last 3 months. So as the thumbnail says, I'm going to show you everything I've made since I started learning to crochet 3 short months ago. And the pile on the table in front of me is big. I'm just gonna give you guys like there are stuff everywhere. And I think that this is only about half. So I'm gonna have to divide this into part 1 and part 2, or we will be here all month. So get comfy. Thanks for stopping by to my new channel. And grab something to crochet or knit and work on, and let me show you what I have done. So in May this past year, my son and I have a YouTube channel for him that's all Disney based. And as part of that channel, once a month, I participate in this collaboration that exchanges homemade, handmade Mickey ears. It's called Year of the Ear. I don't know if you've seen it. If you're not a Disney person, you probably haven't. But anyway, you create based on whatever we want, using whatever we want. And in May, I decided I wanted to create using yarn. So I did some punch needle ears. I'm gonna put a picture up here so you guys can see what I made based on some like really obscure bird characters from Alice in Wonderland. And the punch needle was fun. But as I went to finish that, I realized that I needed trim and nothing looked good with the punch needle that I had. So I thought, how hard can it be to crochet some trim? So onto YouTube, I went to learn how to crochet. So I made a very simple trim, and then I figured out how to make a very simple bow, as you can see in the picture. And the rest is history. And man, it is a sordid tale. So I wanted to show you guys and share with you everything I have done, because this has become my new passion. This is my new hobby. This is where all my time and money seems to be going lately. So I have the YouTube set up. So I thought I'm just going to start sharing it with you guys, because I know how much I love seeing what all of you are making. So here we go. I'm going to start. So the first thing that I made after that, those ears, I thought, I can do this. Let me just look up a pattern. So I looked this up on YouTube, this cute little phone pouch. And I thought, let me just do this. I had very limited amount of yarn that I had just bought in the colors I was using for those ears. So this is just single crochets and a little button. And this is a chained strap. And so I put this together, and it does not look bad. It's very simple. It is not bad, but I can see like where I have missed stitches. Like, I don't know if you guys can see right there, there's very clearly a missed stitch. And I'm like, all right, well, I got to get better at this. So what can I try next? So the next thing that I made is this market bag. And so it's got a big flat bottom. And if I can find the creators, I didn't know when I first started doing these that I was going to be keeping track. So all of the newer stuff, I know who the pattern designers are. Some of these older things I'm going to have to look up, and I'll try to put them on the screen somewhere or in the description box for you guys. So I made this. I had limited amount of yarn and colors. So this I made with cotton yarn, double stranded, because I wanted it to be a little more sturdy. So I did the blue and purple on the bottom all the way up until I ran out of that. And then I just did purple all the rest of the way. And these handles, I don't know how many times I had to redo these handles. I had to frog this over and over again to get the counts right and to get it lined up right and to figure out how to make these handles that kind of curved in, and weren't tangled. I mean, I think that I had a couple twists in one of the attempts. So this I made, my daughter has claimed it. It is hers. She is taking it off to college with her. She's taken it to Trader Joe's already many times. So that's my daughter's. All right, so then I found TL Yarn Crafts, and I found some patterns for some baskets. and I went and bought new yarn, and I got this pretty yarn, and I made this pretty basket, and it's seen some better days because at this point I use it for, as kind of like a yarn bowl. I'll put a ball of yarn in it just to pull and let it roll around. And then I'll just store some notions and stuff kind of at the bottom. Like it's got a tiny little yarn ball in here right now. So this I really liked. Again, just single crochets on the bottom and then some fancier stitches here on top. Some front post crochets to kind of make it a little more stable. So that, super fun. Then I got cocky and I thought, okay, I can do this again. So I did it again. And this one my daughter uses, and she puts some of her makeup and skincare and stuff in here to just haul it around to wherever in the house she decides to put her makeup on that day. She's 21, my daughter. She's gonna be a senior in college. So she has been home all summer. So in my cockiness, I thought, oh, I can just make a big old basket to put yarn in. So then I started this big thing. And this is kind of a Frankenstein creation where I did the bottom and I just kept going till it got bigger and bigger. And then I started going up the sides and I realized, okay, this is gonna be too floppy. So then I thought, because midway, I thought it was boring and I wanted to do double crochets. And I didn't realize how much weaker double crochets are than single crochets. So I thought, okay, so I'm switching back to single crochets, which I did for the rest of the basket, but it was really weak here in this spot and I was not willing to frog it all the way back down. This had taken a long time. So then I went inside and I tried to fortify it inside with some, I don't remember actually, single crochets a little bit, but some slip stitches I think is really what I ended up doing here. And I just slip stitched a couple of rounds all the way in just to kind of tighten it up and give it. So now it's the kind of yarn basket only a mother could love. And I am the mom and this is my baby. And so I do love it and I do use it. It's normally got a ton of yarn in it. Currently it has, you can see like different yarn things fall in here at the bottom, things that I have made, granny squares that didn't end up getting used, that were just for practice rounds. So that's all in here. So I loved this. So shortly after that, I discovered Amigurumi and my heart was lost. I had done very little else but Amigurumi since I discovered it. So let me show you what I have done. So I think one of the main amigurumis that everybody sees and everybody thinks about when they're first starting are these little octopuses. So I followed Crochet by Jenna's tutorial, I believe, for this one. I've adjusted it a little bit. This is, I think, also from that pattern. There are quite a few around here, and because they're easy to make, I have the pattern memorized now, so I've got quite a few octopuses sitting around. I have adjusted the pattern and removed a row. I think this is one of those where I removed a row because I didn't like them quite as tall. So I just took them a row down and made them a little more squishy, a little more squat. And so many. Here's another pink one. So many amigurumi octopi. So the next thing that I decided would be an easy thing to start. Oh, look, here's another one. More. So I thought, oh, these whales are really cute and they seem to be kind of a similar concept. So let me make a whale. So I made a whale. He's super cute. He turned out really good. Love him. I made a turtle, which is gone. I'll try to put a picture of it up here. My daughter has claimed it because I ended up adding some sunflower petals around the edges. So I will show you that in a picture. And then I found this frog pattern. And I know you're thinking leggy frogs. Everybody that's beginning makes leggy frogs, but I don't know what it is about leggy frogs. They haven't really, I'm not really into them yet. I haven't really gone there yet, but I found this little Flipsy. Oh, this is an adorable pattern. I bought this on Etsy, this pattern, no regrets, but I have since found it free, and so I will try to link that free pattern and the Etsy pattern below, but it is so easy to make. This is such a sweet and easy pattern. And I believe that you're supposed to maybe sew on these arms, but I just stitch them right in. I just crochet them right in. So the only thing that I sew on to this froggy is the eyes. And I really, really like it. I think it's the cutest thing. So more recently I made it in this Hirschner's blanket yarn. So it's a little bit bigger because it's a little bulkier of a yarn. This one's in Parfait Chunky. So we're gonna put those aside. So I tried to make some big plush and it did not go great. The first few, I mean, who's with me? The first time I do a pattern, it's a little sketchy. Are you guys with me on that? Like, not knowing what's gonna come out of it, sometimes it just all goes a little wrong. So this bear, this poor sad bear, here, I had no idea what I was doing. And so I think the legs, you can see one leg is very different from the other. I have figured out how to mostly correct that moving forward. And the arms, I think, are a little longer. I think I ended up with an extra row on the arms. And this snout is just not proportioned right. And I did a horrible job sewing it on and sewing this nose. I mean, this is not the best, but I love him and he's gonna stay here. I probably won't ever sell him because, like I said, some things are projects only moms can love, and I do love him. So he'll probably stay here because he was one of my first big ones. And so my second big one was this hippo. And this is actually, I'm gonna gift to a friend who loves hippos because he has specifically asked me for it more than once and I just haven't sent it yet. It's got a cute little tail back here. This is the same basic pattern as the bear, but a hippo head. And I chose this one because it didn't make me sew on the snout. It was one big solid piece, which helps a lot. I like that. But again, I don't know how to embroider faces, so this I embroidered. I really want to get better at that. I've been practicing embroidering faces because I like safety eyes. They're certainly easier, but I do want to be able to make things. We have a lot of babies in the family and I want to be able to make things that are safe for them. So hippo is there. Okay. Oh, this one. This is the biggest one I had made at this point, and it is a dragon. And you can see, again, I tried to embroider the eyes, and so there's this one or this one with the little highlight, and I just couldn't decide. So I have not technically finished this guy and figured out what I'm gonna do with him. So I think he's cute though. I think the snout turned out better, not perfect, but better on this one than on the bear. And this is Sweet Snuggles yarn, which is big and so soft, so cute. And I love it. Kind of gives me Figment vibes. I probably should have put some orange on it so it would be more Figment-y, because I love Figment. We're big Disney people, if you didn't guess. Yeah, I like this one. This one I'm pretty happy with. Okay, so then this is a free pattern. I think on Ribbler, it could have been Ravelry, but I think it was on Ribbler. And I don't know what I did wrong. I must have added too many rows because the body is certainly bigger than it's supposed to be and the rainbow is smaller. The rainbow should be a lot bigger and the froggy should be a lot smaller. And I liked it, and I thought, oh, I can use this funky green yarn with it. I would like to do that. So, but it didn't turn out how I wanted. And my son likes most of what I do. He's 17. Andy's 17. He's on the autism spectrum, and plush are his life. He doesn't want any of these plush, but because he's very particular, and this is not his style, but he has hundreds, if not thousands, of plushes in this house, mostly animals or Disney. And so he's very much my quality control. He tells me right away if something is wrong with one of my creations. And this one is not his favorite. He very much prefers Flipsy, the Flipsy Frog. This one he loves. This one, not so much. In fact, I think that he buried it behind all the others in the closet so that it wouldn't have to look at it. This is not his favorite. If it's your favorite, let me know. So, all right. What else? Oh, so this guy. This is arguably, this is, what would I say? This pattern is probably only some people are gonna like it because it's a little bit different shape of a teddy bear. And I like doing this. This was new. I had not done anything like that before, and the way the ears were done. So I liked doing this one. This was really fun to make, and I learned a lot. Every time I make something new, I'm learning a lot. But I think I made the nose maybe too pointy, but this is a bear pattern, and my kids are convinced that it is indeed a rat. It is a fat rat, and they like it as a fat rat. They do not think it's a bear, and I kind of agree. I think, what do you guys think? Bear or rat? Is this a fat rat or a stumpy bear? I don't know. I like it. I like it. I'm a fan. So, okay. I'm losing, I don't even remember what order some of the rest of these got made in, but I'm gonna keep showing you. This part one. This is a no-sew pattern, because at this point I determined I stink at sewing things on. So this was probably a month into it. It's much easier now. I definitely don't mind it like I did. So I got this no-sew pattern of this caterpillar that is stinking adorable. I got this on Etsy. I will link it and put the designer's name. This was so cute. This was actually pretty easy to make once I realized, and this is probably where I first really realized that you have to make your own adjustments to patterns, like where these legs go, as you get used to your style of crocheting. Because depending on how tight or loose or how much of a slant you have, maybe because of your tension when you are crocheting, you want to make sure they line up. So these are pretty good, but I couldn't match the pattern exactly. I had to kind of put them where it made sense. So I had to make my own adjustments to make this work for me, but I think he's super cute. I love the colors. I love him. I like him. Okay. Oh, I found another octopus hiding. All right, let me show you this guy. So this is a mini turtle that I made that I like a lot. I did not like these little legs though, because you had to sew these little things on individually, and they're so little, it just seemed like there should be a better way. So my daughter wanted 20 of these little turtles to take to school with her because she's in a sorority. A turtle is their mascot, and she is the new member educator for their incoming new members this fall, and she wanted to have a turtle in their sorority colors to give each of them. So I made 20 turtles, but I had to adapt my own pattern. So I used pieces of this pattern and other patterns, and then kind of just made some of my own choices. And I ended up doing it no-sew with a little leg that was just made out of like chaining. You would just chain out 4 chains and then do some double crochets and slip stitch it back in so you have legs. And I wish I had it here to show you, but she has run off with all my little turtles. So if I can get a picture of some of them, I'll put it up here. If not, maybe I will show you next time. Let me know. I'll put them on my Instagram. Oh, let me put my Instagram here. Please come follow me. I am very new, but I'm really excited to keep sharing stuff. So, turtle. This is the only one I kept. All right. Oh, this guy. This is a little mini belly bear, and this is one of my first forays, maybe? No, because I did this too, into color changes. And your world changes in crochet when you can learn to do a color change. And so I started practicing this, and I think he's really cute. I really like him a lot. I put a plastic nose on him. I kind of want to make more of these with embroidered features because I think they would be really cute, just little gifts for some of the young kids in our family. I think they're just really sweet and nice and little for their little hands. So I love this guy. All right, who else do we have here? Oh, I should have shown you this guy earlier. This was about the time I was making octopi. About the time I was making the octos and the whales, I made this narwhal, which is basically the same pattern as those whales, but he has a horn on top. And oh, this guy is sad. I tried to embroider eyes on him. This was definitely a learning piece. I learned a lot making it. You can see him, he's got his little horn. Don't totally love the placement. I think it should have been forward more. And I didn't do a good job closing it up. You can see there's lots of holes that you can see through on the bottom. So I've had to learn how to deal with that so that I don't have that problem. And this is Bernat, and this Bernat blanket yarn almost turned me off of Bernat blanket yarn completely because it is a strange texture. But I think I've come to find out that this is the old Bernat blanket, and the new Bernat blanket is so, I don't know if I have any here in front of me, is so much softer. I mean, it is really a pleasure to work with now, but this almost made me not want to buy any more Bernat. In fact, I didn't for a long time there, for a long time, in the whole 3 months I've been doing this. A long time meaning, you know, like 6 weeks or so. I only bought Sweet Snuggle Slim, and Parfait Chunky yarns to work with. So this is, he's not a favorite. Let's just say he's not a favorite. Okay, so these guys are part of a pattern that I just love, that I bought on Etsy. And there's also a mallard duck, but I didn't have the right colors for him until just now. So I'll make him because these are so much fun to make. They are so fun. They are so easy. You do have to sew on the little feet. And the little, I think I sewed the wings on too, right? I'm pretty sure. But they are, oh, and this little stuff here in the noses. But these are such a joy to make. They work up so fast and they are so good to practice on. I made quite a few. I have a couple more of each of them because they were just so easy and fun, and they were a great way to use up a skein of yarn. All right, so now, where do we go now? I got too big for my britches about this point. I don't know who I thought I was, but I decided I could make this guy. And I did. And I love him so much. I love him so much. But he was so hard to make. And I keep him in this bag because he is so white. He's so white. And I want him to stay nice. And if I do markets, I would take him with me, but I can't imagine anyone will ever buy him for the price tag I'll have to put on him because he took me forever. Because each of these pieces, the legs, the snout, every single color of hair, the horn, all of these on his mane and this tail all had to be sewed on separately and made separately. And as much as I love it, I think he'll probably be mine forever. I don't think anyone's gonna buy him because I'll probably price him at $60 or $70. And it's gonna take him a while to find a home at that price. But it was so fun and it was so satisfying when I finished making him. This was also the biggest lesson I learned with this unicorn was the power of pinning things in place when you are sewing them on. Because prior to that, I just kind of sewed stuff on. I didn't have any pins. So I got pins. The pins I could find at my craft store are only like 2 inches long, which isn't long enough for some of this stuff. So I also bought a really cheap set of knitting needles on Amazon in a bunch of different sizes. And so I use those knitting needles to kind of hold everything in place. And that works really well, especially with big pieces. So that was a valuable lesson. I just love this guy. All right, I'm gonna put him away. So after making him, I thought to myself, I like big stuff, but this was too complicated. What can I make that won't be quite so bad? And I had this variegated, multicolored blue Sweet Snuggles yarn that I really wanted to use. So I made this guy. This is a free pattern, I believe. So I made this guy and I love him too. Is it just me or is bigger better? I mean, when it comes to being snuggly and plush, these big chunky guys are just so much fun to hold on to. So I like him. I like his little off-centered eye here. I love that the eye was crocheted. It's just a little crocheted circle because that was a lot easier for me to do than trying to embroider it. And the mouth, oh, it's not perfect, but I'm pretty pleased with it. So that guy was good. And so then I tried this one, which I also really like, but it didn't turn out quite as good as I expected. It's really cute Triceratops. I think I would do the colors differently. I would probably do these in different colors too, where the horns are. But I think this one's pretty cute. I do like it a lot. I do like it. And I got this yarn that I used for this accent color. This is like that frosted burnout. And I do love it. I loved it, but I have a hard time finding things to use it on that I think will be fun. So there's that. This I made watching a video from Zach on YouTube for his Brontosaurus. If you guys don't know Zach, of course you do, of course you do. I'm gonna link him anyway. So this is his Brontosaurus pattern, and it was so fun to make this, the 4 little legs together and keep building up, because this is basically no sew except for this tail that you sew on even before you stuff, which was a game changer for me. Zach, game changer. When I learned that you should be sewing stuff on before you stuff it, that is so, I don't know what, how did I know? I don't know how I didn't know that, but anyway. All right, so I made this just on a whim. This is the pattern from All from Jade, one of her new turtle patterns, and I love it. I do not love the way I did the color change here though. So I have been practicing color changes and figuring out new ways to do them. So I'm pretty happy with how they're going now, but this one was trial and error. And then I've got one more thing to show you in part 1, and we will end this video. So this is a jellyfish that I made. This jellyfish is so cute. I didn't give him any eyes, didn't give him a face. I kind of think maybe I should have, but I think this is great. I really like it. I wish I'd made these a little curlier. Now I know how to do that better, but I love it. So that is everything for this first half of things that I have made in the first 3 months since I started to crochet. Wow, that was exhausting. Are you guys exhausted? Thank you so much if you stuck with me for this whole video. And please comment down below what your favorite things are to make. If you have designers or patterns that you think I should try, or any tips or tricks would be much appreciated. And I will be back very soon with part 2 of all the things I've made in the last 3 months. Thank you guys so much. Check out my Instagram. I will see you next time. Bye.